Yo, what's up everyone? Finally, the rank 3 Longshot gameplay is here. This man is one of my favourite champions in the entire game, especially since I took him to rank 3. He's so sneaky, there's so many matchups what Longshot can nuke, what you would never think he would be good for in the first place. The first couple of fights are going to be in the current Gladiator circuit meta, where there's armed race, so our special attacks are going to gain increased damage depending on how much power our opponent has. But after a couple fights in this meta, we'll switch to the victory track meta, where there's no specific nodes, so you can see how Longshot performs in an average meta. That was a rank 3 Sasquatch, biggest health pool in game, nuked in 30 seconds. Longshot is so good for this meta, he's easily one of the best attackers. The power gain is so useful this meta, it's so easy to get to your SB2 at the same time your opponent does. You can drop it then and all them incinerates what you apply on your SB2 are going to gain 200% attack increase each. He's one of the fastest champions this meta. He's going to nuke anyone that can be incinerated, but even if you cannot be incinerated like Red Skull, well, Red Skull can be incinerated, but you can't incinerate him as Longshot because he is Fate Steel immune. What you can do is build up your Pure of Heart by dexing or parrying, and then throw your SB1s for some massive bleed damage, and this goes crazy with armed race as well. Now, most of you know that Longshot has 300% ability accuracy, but what you probably didn't know is that 300% ability accuracy will let you reliably parry Red Skull, because Red Skull's ability is for each armor up buff on Red Skull, he will reduce your stun ability accuracy by 10%. He can only gain 10 of these armor up buffs though, so he can have a maximum of 100% ability accuracy reduction on your stuns. But with Longshot having 300% ability accuracy, that means even if Red Skull's at 10 armor ups, we will still have 200% ability accuracy. So Red Skull can never fail our parry, so we can reliably parry Red Skull. Longshot is actually a very good counter for him, despite him being Fate Still immune. This is what I mean by Longshot being such a sneaky champ. He's also a great Mephisto counter, just because it's really easy to build your Pure of Heart by dexing Mephisto's SB1, so it's very easy to get that massive bleed damage in. Now we're going to switch over to the victory track meta, where the opponent just has a 25% chance to shrug debuffs. This does hinder Longshot a bit because we can't parry heavy as much. Sometimes our incinerate is going to get shrugged, but this will give you an idea on how good Longshot is in your average meta. Now, this is an ideal matchup for Longshot, of course. Heavily buffed up opponent in Hulkling. 18-second fight though, that's still ridiculous. Well, here's an opponent with no buffs at all, a Killmonger, and Longshot is a surprisingly good counter for Killmonger. His basic attacks don't deal much damage, so there's not much that Killmonger can reverb, and we can play around this two ways. We can go for our SB2, which will imply an Incinerate debuff and all the passive Incinerates. As you can see, he shrugged the Incinerate debuff, but we still got all the passive Incinerates there, so that's fine. Or we can just spam our SB1s for the bleed damage. How I normally like to play Longshot is I'll normally go for an SB2, then an SB1. That will kill most opponents off, but Killmonger's a chunky man, so we're going to want to go for 2 SB2s, then an SB1 in this fight. That does sound like a lot, but Longshot gets a lot of increased power gain thanks to his bad karma, so it really isn't that much. Well under a minute for a Killmonger. That could definitely be done in 50k points. Definitely a very underrated Killmonger counter. Next up we got a Maestro, and most of you know that Longshot is a great counter for Maestro thanks to the Celestial Secrets videos. A little bit of self-promotion there. Definitely go check out my Celestial Secrets series if you haven't already. That's going to return next Battlegrounds season, don't worry. As most of you know, I'm pushing very hard in Battlegrounds this season. I want to get C1 so I can be making them C1 secrets, but this comes at a cost. This means I'm very busy and don't have time for making videos, so that's why I haven't been uploading much this Battleground season. But don't worry, next Battleground season, whether I get C1 or not, I'll be back to making videos. I'll be trying to upload videos every day again, so make sure you're subscribed, because lots of live streams, lots of Celestial Secrets, lots of showcases coming your way next Battleground season. But for the rest of the current Battleground season, I need to focus on getting C1. It is really important to me. Main reason being, I want it for my channel, you know. I feel like if I get C1, that's really going to help out the channel. It could potentially bring me a lot more views, a lot more subscribers, and that's really important for me because I do want to take this channel seriously. I do want to actually try and do this seriously somewhat, but there's also a second reason. A lot of you know I've been playing Battlegrounds since the beta, but a lot of you don't know is I used to have a very, very small roster. Like, I only whaled recently thanks to a very kind donator in the Eddie one. I was able to whale out and really build up my roster, but before that I always had a smaller roster, and I would always push in Battlegrounds. I would always get top 10 back in the day, or at the very least I would end in the higher ends of C5. And what everyone used to say about me is if I had a whale roster that I would easily finish C1. That's what everyone used to say about me. Now, I took this to heart. So when the Battleground Brawl came around, I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to qualify, and I did. I qualified for the Battleground Brawl. I barely did because I went on a tilt right at the end, but I did qualify for the Battleground Brawl, and I went there. And, you know, a lot of people didn't know me, but the people who did know me, they expected me to win. They were telling me, you know, this is your moment. You're going to win this. And I believed I could win it as well because I finally had an even roster. This was when I was pushing Battlegrounds as well, so I definitely had the skill. I got past the first round. I beat Andy, which was, you know, very tough because Andy is one of the best players in the game. I beat Andy, and I was on top of the world, man. I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna win this thing, but I got stopped dead in my tracks in the second round by Pepe, and I feel like I could have won that. I feel like I messed up my draft. I panicked. I played bad, and I missed my opportunity to finally prove I was one of the best Battlegrounds players in the world. So after that, things went back to normal. I went back to playing Battlegrounds, and I had a small roster then. All the new champs started coming out, like Bullseye and Onslaught, and at the time, with all these tricky new defenders coming out, I decided it was time to stop pushing Battlegrounds, so I stopped pushing. You know, I had practically given up. I'd accepted the fact that, you know, I couldn't get C1 because of my roster, so I stopped playing. And for the last 4 months, you know, I've just been coasting by, doing streams, landing in C5 in Battlegrounds, which I was happy with. I was perfectly happy with. But then I got that donation and I was able to whale out. And this is my opportunity to finally get C1 in Battlegrounds. There may not be another opportunity like this for me. I messed up the first one already, and I've been given a second chance. So I feel like if I don't try and push C1 this season, I will regret it forever, because this does mean a lot for me. I've spent over a year of my life on this game, learning Battlegrounds, playing Battlegrounds, so this is really important for me. And I'm definitely not as good of a player as I used to be. I'm definitely not. I've just got to be honest with myself. But if I don't push this season, I will regret it. So I'm trying that's why there's been no streams of me on the main account this Battleground season. I am really trying to push for that C1, and I can't focus properly while streaming. But yeah, that's it, man. That's why I haven't been releasing many videos this Battleground season. But I'm going to try my absolute best, and that's all I can do. Whether I get C1 or not, next Battleground season, I will be back to making videos, uploading videos nearly every day. So make sure you're on the lookout for that. Now, I know this has gone slightly off track. This is supposed to be a long shot showcase, but I felt like all that needed to be explained because I do love all of you that watch me, especially all of you that, you know, actually watch all my videos, watch the full length of it. I really appreciate all of you, so I felt like you all are owed an explanation as to why I've not been uploading as much. But for the final minutes of this video, let's talk about Longshot. This is a rank 3 Shuri, so equal ranks. This is not really a great matchup for Longshot because we can't parry heavy to get extra incinerate damage. But it's fine. Even in a non-ideal matchup, Longshot completely melted her. 56 seconds for a non-ideal matchup is great. And of course, we've got to end the video with the obligatory Nick Fury fight. It's not a showcase without a Nick Fury fight. Longshot is also a very good defender if they do not have a buff immune champ. He does get nuked by buff immune champions like Titania, Red Guardian, Silk. Well, Silk isn't buff immune, but she doesn't gain the dex buff. He does get nuked by these champions very easily, but if your opponent is not buff immune, and if your opponent gains any buffs at all specifically, Longshot is a very dangerous defender, one of the better defenders in game. He's either going to one-shot you with the SB2, or thanks to Longshot's power gain and Mystic Dispersion, you're going to be baiting out SB1s the entire match. You know, Longshot doesn't have that much health, but you can feel like Sasquatch to fight sometimes just because he stalls the match so much because you have to bait out so many SB1s. But that's going to be the end of the video, lads. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.